to another Tub Talk, and today I've got a little Tub Tarot for you in honor of the autumn equinox. So what are some things that we need to know, as well as what does this next chapter look like? So I ask you all to just kind of ground down wherever you're sitting into your tub. Take a nice deep inhale. Feel that line of energy lifting up. As you exhale it out, just kind of feel yourself ground down. Looking at these cards, picking from 1, 2, or 3. All right, so now that you've chosen your cards, you can find the timestamp in the links below and just go directly to that time as opposed to having to listen to every single one. Stack number 1, here we go. Oh, baby, we got some fire up in here. I feel it. It's hot. All right, so you have the Queen of Fire, the King of Fire, and the 3 of Swords. So for this next chapter, it looks like maybe this summer you have just been grinding and pushing through things and creating for yourself, and that as things begin to slow down seasonally, it's actually time for you to begin to put yourself out there. Queen of Fire is about optimism. It's about being nurturing and loving, but also being in your power, about finding that fearlessness. Actually, both of these are about fearlessness. Things that maybe have been holding you back from actually just pursuing and doing, and taking action. With King and Queen, it's about acting like a king and queen. As you step into your power, as you step into your shininess, it's about remaining compassionate of others, realizing those that have helped you to get to where you are, not forgetting those people and steps and things that you've been through, not forgetting your reason for even doing what you're doing. Because yeah, when we're in those shiny moments, it's easy to just step into our ego and not be in our compassionate, loving, nurturing sides of ourselves. And really, if we want to truly be leaders and if we really want to be fearless, the best way to do that is to be compassionate of where other people are in their cycles. It looks like this next phase is going to be a powerful, strong, potent time for you to really step into your own. It's about being a good leader. So yeah, those are amazing. And then we have the 3 of Swords. Adds a whole new flavor to these two. Still a very fiery card, but the 3 of Swords is about looking at your emotional pain. So maybe there actually are reasons that you haven't stepped into your power yet. Maybe there's been something that's been getting in the way of you really stepping into that. A lot of times, things that have been said against you or hurt you emotionally, and obviously you've been holding on to it, you've been letting that hinder actually being where you want to be. And it might have been something that happened to you long ago, and then you keep replaying that same thought process. You keep doubting yourself because of something that is by far no longer existent. But this is about realizing that you're ready. It's time. And it's also really time to release those burdens. Then your mantra for this cycle is, my inner compass knows the way. You're ready. All of these cards are incredible. You are ready to be in your fullest. You are ready to step into it. And this is the perfect time. I mean, no time like the present, of course, right? But you've learned the lessons. You've gone through the pain. Now we need to let that go and know that you know the way. You know how to get there, and gotta stop doubting yourself. Let's see what number 2 has in store for us. Ooh, we got a little bit of a yin-yang going on here. We've got the Wisdom card, which is actually part of the Major Arcana. That's a huge, significant card right there. Boom. And we have the 10 of Air. And you can even see in these colors that it's very yin-yang. So this one's kind of more about rooted, being in your roots, your earth. This one is about air. The wisdom card is about going inward. So this next cycle, it looks like it's a perfect time, and even seasonally, as I was saying, equinox, great time to begin to pull all the lessons of this past year and going inward and looking at that. Now, the wisdom card also represents a mentor or something in your life that is teaching you a lesson that you might not be aware of. This is a card of realizing your own thought patterns and how we kind of get stuck thinking that things are only one way. It's the wisdom of realizing that there is many ways, and that maybe the way that we're looking at something isn't helping us anymore. So it's stepping out of your own thought process and beginning to see things in a bigger way, beginning to see the wisdom, the lessons that are right in front of our faces that we might not, we haven't yet been aware of. We might get stuck in just being like, this sucks, I'm unlucky, this is bad, I don't deserve this, whatever it is, as opposed to realizing that everything that's going on and happening to you is to teach you something about yourself, maybe something to teach you about others. And this is very much about seeing things from a different light, realizing that knowledge is not just about books, wisdom is not just about books, it's about experiences. It's about seeing things in a big way. 10 of Air is about taking the mask off and being seen in your rawness, in your fullness. So both of these are kind of about transitioning how you see things. And because of the 10 of Air, it looks like maybe you're seeing things from a perspective that actually isn't even your own, but it's something that other people have put on you or taught you how to see things. It's kind of like you think that you need to be doing things a certain way because of other people. These two cards together, as well as just the 10 of Air, has a little bit to do with duality, which honestly is perfect with this season as well, because it's about no longer being afraid of our shadows, especially as we go towards the winter months and we go into our darkness, into our shell a little bit. Sometimes we play a certain persona, we wear a certain mask because we are afraid of who we really are, or we think that what we really are isn't enough, or not going to be liked, or doesn't follow suit in a certain way. And this is very much about becoming aware of those things that we have kept in the dark. And even that's part of the wisdom thing. Those things that we deny about ourselves, and realizing that that is actually where your true power lies. So you have a lot of insight that you haven't even really begun to let yourself share or be aware of. True art, true essence comes from balancing and understanding both sides of yourself. Duality, yin yang, inward looking, taking the mask off. Third card on that one is the Strength card, and you got your shiny lion. This is a great card. This is amazing. This is giving you the strength to be able to trust and go through it all. This is giving you the strength to be able to see everything that you need to see from that. Also has a little bit to do with vanity, which makes me think that this whole balance thing that we've got here and the whole mask piece of it is that maybe throughout the summer even, you got a little lost in other people, what other people are doing, needing to be where they're at and not where you are at, or needing to please other people, or needing to get validation from the external world. So the Strength card is about, again, finding strength from within, finding your own inner expression, your own inner wisdom that maybe during the busyness of the summer got a little bit lost. Rooting back into that. That is a powerful one. And then your mantra is healthy boundaries keep me centered and balanced. In fullness, seeing all of these cards, it looks like somehow you've given a lot. I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to make any assumptions, but given a lot to others externally during the summer, during these last few months, maybe even too much even when it comes to your own goals. And this is about knowing how to keep that balance. I keep using that word because that's what I'm feeling, and even kind of in this picture, The woman's arms are up and balanced. Knowing how to say no, knowing how to be strong in what you believe, and that your voice is important, and we do want to hear it. So keeping your own healthy boundaries is huge. All right, and stack number 3. Let's see what's in store for you. Oh, baby. Ooh. All right. Whoa. Powerful cards. Okay, so we actually have another major arcana, which I did earlier in the readings as well. You've got the crone. Look at this badass lady over here. The crone is, some see as the old hag, the withered old lady, but there is a ton of power in this card. The crone is about not being afraid to walk your own path, not being afraid to be alone. Not meaning that you're always going to be alone, but it might be not being afraid to have your own opinion that might be contradicting of other people. So this is a huge power card in being unafraid to be on your path, even if it's not your conventional path. Even if it's not what society says you need to be doing at this phase in your life. This is about knowing your strength and your power beyond anyone else's opinion, beyond anyone else's ideas of what you need. You know you are on that path, and it's okay that it might be a little different. You're a rebel, you know? Living in that rebelliousness. Being unafraid of time, being unafraid of where you're at in your cycle, and continuing to push forward and be in that strength. Then you have the hero card. So you're a freaking badass motherfucking warrior, it seems like. All right, the hero is also kind of about not doing necessarily what society sees as right, but doing what is truly right in your own path, in your own awareness, in your morals, going with what's morally right, not with what you're told. And it's interesting because the crone is very much about being in your strength, knowing your own inner power and your potential. Sometimes it's untapped power that you haven't even realized that you have yet. The hero is about pushing aside some of your own individual opinions and doing things for the greater good. So this is going to be your activist. This is going to be your environmentalist. And the crone, as much as it is walking your own path, it's still about being compassionate in it. She's an old woman who is loving, sometimes says the things that she needs to say that might be hurtful at the time, but helpful in the end. So both of these are about being compassionate, being compassionate and doing things for the greater good, and being unafraid of stepping in. This next phase looks like you are going to be able to stand on your own 2 feet in a very strong, powerful way, and you do have a really important voice that needs to be heard, that you are on an incredible path. And then we've got the Daughter of Swords. All of these are very warrior-esque, and then actually even the mantra that you get, I am excited to show you because it's very much on that warrior path. So the Daughter of Swords is about being in your honesty and being direct. Yeah, they all work so perfectly together. So basically it's being in your strength, your own voice, being honest to yourself, and being able to speak up even if it's not what people really want to hear. So be that freaking warrior. And then the card, the mantra is, I focus on what is working. By being bold, by being fearless and a hero and all of these incredible traits, you can definitely get a little bit of a backlash by standing in your own. It can be a little bit controversial. There can be conflict that's created. And this one is about focusing on the things, the good that is coming from those things. So even though there's a little turmoil, focusing on what is right from it, and staying focused on your own morals, staying focused on what is moving you forward. And as hard as it is to be that badass warrior, look at that, boom, that's what you are. So step into it. thank you guys so much for listening. This was my first tub talk, first tarot tub talk. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope to see you back some other time. Thank you. Mwah!
Drifting free amongst the sea. Reality is a hidden fantasy. Got